Welcome back to another Money Mondays. Thank you for tuning into our content. We appreciate you guys. I'm your girl, Rochelle. This is my husband, Micah.
Aloha.
And we are back to talk about the latest Money Monday topic. Do you want to know what it is today?
I would like to know.
Let me read it right so I can make sure I don't mess up. Today's topic is, would you rather money edition?
Okay.
I guess we should say money/couples edition.
Okay.
So I have generated just a few questions for us to, and I say few, I'm probably like 3 questions for us to answer, would you rather, and or questions, and we can elaborate on why we chose what we chose. You ready?
Ready.
Keep the questions coming, y'all. Play in the comments. Let me know what you would decide for all of these questions. Okay, so first question is, this is round 1. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have no debt, no savings, or $50,000 saved and $30,000 in debt?
I'd rather have $50,000 saved, $30,000 in debt. I'd take the $50,000 and pay off the debt and have $20,000.
Yeah, I think at first when I read the question, because I haven't looked at these questions, I just randomly had them generated. You know what I used. I almost said no debt and no savings at first because I'll tell you my why. Because I have these clients that I've been working with for years, right? I have clients that I've worked with over the years, and the number one problem is that they don't have a clean slate. They all have history. They all, just like, so they all have no debt. They all have a ton of debt and no savings. And I then randomly had this one client who if she ever watched our content, she's going to laugh because she's going to know it's her. She was addicted to saving to the point she would never pay for anything in full. Oh. Yeah. And she has
unit.
Yeah, she knows her. And expelled this thought that I had, this notion that I had that you were not allowed to have savings. Like, how is it possible that you have so much savings, but you never want to spend money? Like, that's so crazy. But she had such a high level of respect for money that she would just save it. And if she bought a couch, she was using Klarna or Zip Pay or any of them other ones to pay for it in 4 payments, because she would just be like, I don't want that much money to ever come out of my account. And so she became my client who had savings and debt. I think she had good debt. Like, she had debt that she bought a house or she did something. And I was like, girl, if you don't spend some of that savings. And it became like the running joke. Like, she would text me randomly, every couple months or something, like, listen, I'm thinking about buying this thing, but I don't know. I think I might take out a loan. If you don't put that money out of savings. But on second thought, reading it realistically, I'm going to take that second option.
Every day, all day.
Yeah. And you'll see in the future why we feel that way if everything works out. Okay, so let us know what you would say. What's your answer? So again, would you rather have no debt but no savings, or $50,000 in savings and $30,000 in debt?
Now, I will give that with a caveat. If this affects you the wrong way, this might be you. Some people have no willpower and will be like, oh, I got $50K. I'm going on a trip. And then they'll come back with even more debt, and they'll be in $50K in debt, and or have $50K in debt total because they added another $20K in debt because they went on the trip and blew the money. So I don't think that's a good answer for everybody, even though mathematically it seems correct. But if you know your relationship that you have with money, and a lot of times it's not a financial thing, it's an emotional thing. Or not, even if it's not emotional, there's a thing where if you got $50K to blow, you're not going to put it to pay off the debt. So I don't think that's a good answer for everybody. Some people might need that clean slate. And if you know who you are, be true to yourself and just know your weaknesses and your strengths. So knowing your weaknesses is a strength.
I just had to take notes because Micah you be doing it. We got another video we can go with that one. Okay, so round two. Micah, would you rather give up eating out for a whole year or give up online shopping for a whole year?
Eating out.
That's easy.
Yeah, that's an easy one for me. I can cook my own food. Online shopping, do I do a lot of online shopping? there's certain things that I buy online, especially being here on the
I was
island.
about to say, you're kind of forced.
Yeah, we're kind of forced to, like, certain stores that they don't have here. Johnston and Murphy, for one. I like their stuff, you know. I just started getting back into them, but they're like button down. Well, actually, y'all don't care, but certain places that they don't have on the island that I like their stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely say for me, that's crazy.
I think this one might be a hard one for Rochelle.
This is actually okay. So I'll just to give you a little context.
If you had to cook.
Oh my God. Yeah. See, okay, so just a little context. I don't like in-person anything. So as much as I love eating out or ordering out, I can't stand sitting in a restaurant and eating food. Like I do it for Micah. Like I would be like, oh, I would rather be at home in the couch, curled up, watching a movie, eating my food. So I get everything delivered. If it's DoorDash, if it's Instacart, if it's Amazon, I can't stand in-person shopping and I can't stand in-person eating. So this is a tough question for me. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna give up eating out.
Ooh.
Because I love online shopping that much.
Ooh.
And I'm kind of forced into it because again, location, but also like I buy everything for my business online. I buy everything for over here online. Like not to be able to shop online would be devastating for me.
Ooh.
And I would just be really hungry. All of a sudden I'd be walking to places and enjoying eating in person.
Notice she didn't say cooking.
Not cooking. Refer to the previous Money Monday for why. I am not cooking. Micah is the cook. Eva is the cook. I done raised Eva to cook just because that's the level of I don't cook. I'm like, everyone fend for themselves. I will peanut butter and jelly it. Micah would never.
Maybe if I grew my own peanuts and nah.
He's a gardener. So yeah, that was a really good question. Oh, okay, next question. Would you rather retire with $1 million but live super frugally, or retire with $300,000 but travel the world for free? That's a chaotic question.
Yeah, I mean, is free travel or my meals included? I mean, I guess if I stay at the all-inclusives, or is it just covering airfare, or is it covering hotel stay?
Travel the world for free.
So only airfare. It sounds like.
I would say. What you say, Eva?
Everything's free.
Everything's free.
That's it.
So the $300K would only really be for hotel stays or like.
Tanisha Davis, if you're watching right now, what do you think this means when they say travel?
Oh yeah. We need a professional traveler. Retire, $1 million, live frugally. In the United States,
This is easier than you think.
I think I'd travel. Am I allowed to make more money later on?
Why would you pick that? Why do you say travel? For obvious reasons. I mean, we are very transparent about the fact that we are still traveling while paying down debt. That is literally the only thing we spend money on outside of food and clothes. I think it would be a no-brainer for us because of our future goals. We have plans to live internationally once we become debt-free. So, I mean, we already live in Hawaii, so I think we're living proof that we're going to do what we said we were going to do. Our first goal was to leave the place we were born and raised, because Micah said nobody. What's that line you always say? You should never live in the same place. The world is too big for you to live in the same place your entire life, and that's just something we always subscribe to. So when we got the opportunity to move away, we did it, even though we had debt, and we became debt free once we moved away, which is interesting. So, all day, it's going to be the travel answer every time because we enjoy traveling. It's the reason why we are who we are, even to the point of why we homeschool. We homeschool because Eva wants to be homeschooled so that she can continue to travel. We tried the in-person thing. It ain't work for us.
Yeah, as long as my meals are included in that travel.
Listen, if it says travel the world for free, I'm going to stay at an all-inclusive in every place I travel to.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And problem solved.
Yeah. I think I'd have to take option 2.
Yeah. We're going to assume when you say travel the world for free, we're including all travel like Eva said. Let us know in the comments which answer you would pick.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I can't imagine, like, where in the United States? I mean, if I'm not traveling and I'm living frugally, I'm going to have to live, like, I can't make it on $1 million retired in Hawaii. Even no matter frugally, I'd have to own a house. Food is expensive. Ain't enough frugal. I wouldn't make it. We wouldn't make it.
I was gonna say this is one of the only places you could probably like live in the United States, like all money aside, don't not including money, but where you wouldn't have to travel. I feel like Hawaii, you can live in Hawaii and you get the ocean, you get the things that you want to travel for based on the person, based on the.
I need a break.
That's because we travel.
Yeah.
But there's so many. There's what percentage of the island would you say don't really leave the island? You know what I mean?
At least of locals, at least 80-90%. I would say, for just in from the people I've talked to. So maybe I haven't talked to people who travel because they're traveling, but
but if you're talking about a native person, someone, I won't say native, but a local person who either has lived here for a number of years or they were born and raised here, most people don't travel frequently. They live here, they spend their money here, they invest here, they go 10 toes down here, versus where me and Micah come from, it's normal to take road trips, weekend getaways, so they kind of like, not a victim of their circumstance, but they just are, it makes sense, like when you talk to people here. And if they do travel, they travel to California, they travel to Vegas, they travel to West Coast.
Or Japan.
Yeah. So it's logistics.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when people are like, oh, y'all are traveling again, I'm like, it's our only trip this year, but go off.
Right.
But yeah, they view that as frequent travel. If you take like one trip a year, they're like, wow. So, depends on where you live. Next question. Would you rather always know where every dollar goes, but never be able to splurge, or always have extra money, but never know exactly where it's going?
Extra money. If it's extra, everything that was supposed to go went to the right place already. If it's extra, if it's truly extra, yeah.
Our current scenario, money scenario, like that's what is the drive behind us wanting to be debt free. We got all this income coming in and we can't spend it the way we want to spend it. It has to go primarily to debt payoff. And it's, again, working with budget clients, the number one thing is I always tell them you need to increase your income. You aren't making enough money to cover your basics, so every time if you have extra money lying around, you a whole different person. I don't care what you say. Like, life is good. If you have extra money in this economy, so that's the one I would pick every time.
Yeah. And if you debt free, you got extra money, you walk different, you talk different, you swag different. Eva's got commentary in the background, but it's and nothing like it. You don't take stuff from people anymore. I do not need this.
My man got 2 jobs.
Highly recommend debt freedom.
And just the opposite end of it, never being able to splurge, never being able to even just like spend extra. That's a lot of the people in the world right now. Like, if I'm being honest, you can tell by the debt, the trillions of dollars of debt. You got people using credit to buy groceries. You know what I mean? Like that. And when I'm working with people to help them, just start with the foundational parts of creating a budget and sticking to it, that is the hardest part, is that they realize they have to stick to a budget and there's nothing left. They can't do the things that they were doing when they were carefree with their money. And it makes you a prisoner of your money. It makes you lose your joy, your hope, your faith, your everything, because you literally are tied down. You can't take off of work. You can't call out when you're sick. You can't do all these things. It is so limiting when you don't have enough money to match your lifestyle.
I've seen people break down into tears when they've seen the numbers.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah.
You walk different when that looms over you. It's. I remember like when we had got debt free last time, and it's like a weight's lifted. You might not even feel it, realize that you feel so weighed down, but it's like a weight is literally lifted off of you. You feel lighter on your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I say you really do like talk, walk, think different when you don't owe anybody anything.
I'll never forget that feeling. And I can't wait to have it again. Next question.
You get your check, and then a week later, it's still there. You're getting another check, and you still got your first check, and you got the check before that.
It's a guy who posted a video, and he's like, hey, y'all, help me. I want to share with you how I budget my paycheck. And I was like, why is TikTok showing me this video? Because I was not on my TikTok, my money TikTok. I was on my personal TikTok. And he didn't do nothing with his check except accomplish his money goals. He didn't even have bills. He was still at home, living rent-free. He didn't have expenses for as far as his car, insurance, nothing. Everything was cared for, and he was able to just put money in all types of savings and investment vehicles. And he didn't have no desire to travel. He didn't have any desire to buy anything new. And he was like, I've just been doing this for the last 2-3 years. And he was like, I don't do anything but tell my money where to go, which bucket to go in. And the money moves that he's been able to make in such a short time, just because he got the freedom of his whole check. Yeah, I need that.
By the way, if we do have any viewers who are living at home, go ahead and blow that next check. But after that, save some money and start putting your money in places to work for you. While you're living at home is the best time when you don't have rent looming over your head, unless the home you live in makes you pay rent. But it's the best time to make some smart financial goals to set yourself up for the future.
Well, we are winding down, y'all. Let me see. We are at our 5th question. Would you rather win $100K tax-free, but you can't tell anyone, or win $20,000 that you can share with the world and post about it everywhere?
$100K, I won't tell anyone, but there will be signs.
That is so easy. Like, I mean, as much as some people would consider us an oversharer in the, in the budgeting community, or not even in the budgeting community, just, from an outside perspective looking in. But as much as I tell y'all, there's so much behind the scenes that I don't tell y'all. So it would be so easy for me to take that $100K tax free and do some things. Okay. Yes. First thing I would do is I would retire Micah. Don't ask me a secondary question. I'll figure it out later. Yep. $100K. That would be enough for me. We'll go somewhere else. I plan on working full time as long as I can. But I am really ready to retire Micah so that he can do something. What's crazy is retiring Micah will help us make more money anyway. Because Micah would do something. He could turn a passion project into something that he monetizes. Because he has so many different things that he's good at. He could do that. He could do that. So heck yeah, $100K. $100K. What would y'all say? Now, some people are content creators and they can't stop talking about stuff.
Yeah. I know when to keep my mouth shut. But that's a good question, though. Like, what's your number? That's one thing that Rochelle brings up. Like, we've talked story about like one guy. Well, I don't want to tell his business out there. But how do I say this without, now that I brought up that situation mentally, I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to tell his story. But
make up some numbers.
Well, I'll just say it this way, like, what's your number that you'd feel comfortable leaving everything all behind? Quitting your job, this, that, and the other, and saying, I'm good, Or say you had an investment. With any investment comes risk. Your investment's doing well. You got $100,000. You're getting $200,000, but at any time you could lose it all, like that. What's your number where you pull it out, even if you can't retire off of it? What's your number? This is something that you bring up. Like, when do you when to hold them, know when to fold them? Yeah. When do you pull your money out and say, I've got to where I need to be, or do you just let it ride? That's the question. I hate people that, like, when you watch YouTube videos, like, go in the comments and tell me this and that. But I really do. I would love to know people's numbers are. I think that's interesting. And you said your number is 100K.
My number is $1 million.
$1 million?
Well, it used to be 500,000. All those previous years, but I increased it to $1 million just because of inflation. But I plan on working. but that would be enough for me to retire you. I would honestly take the 500. Like, I have figured out in life what we can survive on. And honestly, when we're traveling, we spend so little money when we're traveling and we're actually there in the one same place for weeks at a time. We have figured out, because Micah can cook and because I know how to go out to eat, we have found the balance between that, and we have figured out our cost. So I can make anything work, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is for like an investment where your money's growing, but you could lose it all any day. You said
Because that happens a lot.
You said 1 million
I would say 500,000.
500,000. Yeah, I don't know what my number would be.
I feel like your number would be in the millions.
Yeah, I think 2.5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm going to retire, but I couldn't do it here. We had to go somewhere where that would stretch, you know.
Yep. And you have to make decisions like buy a home that doesn't have HOA, that doesn't have, you know what I mean? Like, you would have to make those type of purchases on the front end with that money and be like, this is where we live now.
Yeah. What's your number? Because, like, if you want to say, I know a lot of people, I'd never leave the United States. So I think that number would have to be higher, I think, in the United States, especially with the rate of inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I don't know. I think it's a good question. You know, send me your numbers, please. That's something I do think is interesting.
Yes.
Would be interesting. Okay. Was that?
So we got bonus round.
Bonus round.
Last question for sure. Would you rather work a job you hate for $200,000 a year, or a job you love for $60,000 a year?
Ouch! This one hurts.
Mama, ow.
Mama, ow. I've been at jobs I hate. I've been at jobs that I love, and I'm no longer with the job I love. But I'm paid very much better. Almost, double what I was making at the job that I loved. Even though my time was freer, I was happier, this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. But in the end, I'm a husband and a father, and I think it's important to make sure I'm in a position where I can provide for my family, even if that means I got to suck it up a little bit, you know? Now, my first job, I hated that one as well. I could provide for my family, but as a part of providing for your family, where if you're empty inside, you have nothing to give to them. So it was affecting me so much where emotionally it was draining me so much. I don't think I could provide for them properly emotionally. I could provide for them financially, but the person inside of me was dying. And while I was there, I think our daughter was being born. I can't remember how old she was when I left, but I wanted to show her that she didn't have to settle. Part of it was I didn't want her to feel like she had to be in a situation where she had to settle. And I know I was actually suffering there from some of the treatment that I was receiving. So I left there, went to a job that I loved, made more money. And I was very, very, very happy there. But then, like, my family wasn't happy with the state we were living in, so we moved. And then here, there was part of while I like moved up a couple times, and where I'm at right now is certain parts. No, certain parts of the job are annoying. Certain parts of the job I have right now are annoying. Some days I come in, leave there, and everything's fine. Some days I leave there, and I feel like pulling out my hair stubs. The little pieces that I need to shave off. But I think I would have to go, being a family man, I'd have to go to provide for my family. If I was single, I could take that $60K all day.
So here is where time is a factor for me. I would take the $200K job and just work as quickly as possible to change my financial situation and improve it so that I could quit it. I am so solution oriented. Like, I will make the practical decision, but that is why you keep hearing me say over and over again, because I'm speaking it into existence. I plan on retiring Micah. He's done his bid. He did all the things. I want to make it so that we can afford to retire him early. And I don't think there's any shame in that. I don't think that means we're quitters. I don't think that means, you can't shame me because we have debt for me to say that. It's just the fact of the matter. I feel like things have run their course, and you should always feel like you can do the next thing. And life is nothing but a whole bunch of seasons anyway. These jobs don't care about us anyway. Why do we care so much? Take the nice paying job, work it for as long as you can sanely work it, and then roll out of there.
Yeah, because, 1 year to 250K job is how many years?
Well, 200, yeah.
Oh, 200.
Yeah, 200.
Oh, not for 200K. I wasn't not.
So you talking about take home 150, 130.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take home the higher, because what am I working for? I'm not working to have a good time. I'm working to make money.
I'm not here to make friends. And this goes into another topic where I see a lot of people who have friendships and relationships, work husbands and work wives and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm glad I never really got into that. Like, I still keep in touch with some of my previous co-workers, but it's just like, that was never a deal breaker for me, where it's like, oh, I gotta stay because my friends are here.
Yeah, no.
I worked with a job where I was a nurse, and I worked with my sister-in-law, and we worked the same exact job, like the same exact position. So we never saw each other. I mean, we would see each other at like overlap shift change time or something like that. She was feeling, she was like PRN back then, but I'm just like, this ain't even giving what it's supposed to give. I don't even see you, But so it's just like, it's so funny how I thought I was going to feel the thing that people were feeling all the time. Like, oh, when my sister-in-law starts working here, it's going to be fun. It's going to be, and I'm just like, yeah, we don't see each other anyway. We're busy working. So it's just funny when you.
Yeah, if at work and we're so-called friends at work, you should want better for me and I should want better for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's it. Peace, love. Oh.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for tuning into today's video. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and turning on those notifications, because YouTube is a hater and they're not going to naturally recommend this video to you. So the only way to know is to turn those notifications on. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next Money Monday video.
Peace, love, and budgets.